All right, and we're live. Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the VAU Mic Check, and I am your official, unofficial host, Michael Montes. Welcome. So, I'm sorry about how long this has taken to actually get going. It seems as though, and I quote Nathan Cundiff when I say this, Google has rearranged the furniture on the Hangouts. So, I know that there's been an issue with some of you in the past ending up in different windows than the Mic Check, or I don't know, just with strangers that have no idea what's going on. It turns out, apparently, that when I send out the invitations to join into the Mic Check window, the actual on-air live Mic Check, it for some reason opens up an entirely separate instance of the Hangout. So there's a completely different window that everybody's being sent to than the one I'm in. So if you've had that issue, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to work it out, but Google is not helping me out with this. But anyway, as a little note of news, many of you have actually been asking about a guest that we've had on in the past. His name is Eric Reynolds. He is basically the independent contacting guru. He has been able to make he's got companies like Toshiba as regular clients of his that he himself has gone and contacted. Now, I have contacted him and told him that he is one of the most, if actually he is the most requested guest that I've ever had on the Mic Check, and he's going to be making a return. I've been in talks with him about sharing some of his information, and we'll keep you updated when we actually have a week when we'll have Eric Reynolds back on. So you've been asking for him, you've been asking about him, and he's coming back. So be excited for that. All right, anyway, now that I've wasted enough time, and there's been enough time going on trying to get this whole Google Plus thing sorted, let's dive in, shall we? Today's script is actually comes from, obviously, the VAU's practice script resource library thing. I don't know, I'm not very coordinated today, it seems. But today it's about 7-Eleven. So I am actually going to ask for a volunteer for the first one. I might even just go second. But if somebody wants to go and give us your best shot, let us hear what this script is all about. Please do.
I want to play!
All right, Nathan.
All right. I've been doing this like 3 different ways since we started, actually more than 3.
Well, give us the best that you've got. So, anyway, actually, I'm sorry. Another little bit of housekeeping here before I dive into this. For those of you who are new and who aren't aware of the way that this works, everybody's going to have an opportunity to read the script. Everybody's going to give us their best read, their best interpretation, and you're not necessarily going to receive critiques per se from everybody else on the Mic Check. You're going to more receive insights, something about the way that it sounds to them as a customer. So when you're listening to somebody else's, really dig into how you would feel listening to this, say on radio or on TV, and give some feedback. So feel free to jump in at any time. But anyway, now that I've said my piece, Nathan, you're up. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have a dog biscuit hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
True to form character, Nathan. So, Nathan, please unmute. I actually want to have a little discussion with you. So, how many times did you do that one? That particular take, that particular
that
voice.
particular character? Okay, maybe once.
Okay.
I've been playing with it for a couple days.
Aha. Okay. Well, you kind of rewrote the script in some places. Well, at least in one. You said
Okay,
have a dog biscuit hanging around. It's have dog biscuits hanging around.
gotcha.
Just be careful on that. I those people who'd rather err on the side of caution. So, even though scripts like this, they usually allow for a little bit of improv, a little bit of extra whatever. Um, I'd say just be careful at the beginning. Um, but other than that, how did you feel while you were saying it? How did you feel while you were going through
Excessively comfortable.
it?
Oh, I tried this as walking too, but and a
It's
new one I'm
toy,
working
yeah.
on.
So if you're excessively comfortable, does that mean you're in your PJs, man?
Dude, I'm wearing my shorts and a t-shirt.
Which, which is
I,
the luxury. We can actually make a living in our PJs and voiceover. So that's the
exactly.
cool part.
Basically my PJs. I am, yeah. I personally, I feel this beautiful comfort every time I do something in character. Of course, I've been playing. Last night I was playing with attempting a John Malkovich. It's getting there. It's not that easy. But
I'd like to try to one day do a Christopher Walken. It's easy enough to do, but you really have to work at it. But let me just say, at the end of the script, I thought that was awesome. The way you put a pause right there, where it actually worked really well. Think of it as and then I think that's where you pause your own personal walk-in kitchen. That was cool. That beat you placed right there, and just the right spot, man.
gives the listener a chance to say, "Oh, I have to think."
Yeah.
You know.
So one thing though that I wanted to bring to your attention, one thing I'd like for you to kind of consider is let's see, what is that? Is that the third sentence in where it says you think about cooking, but then you remember the 3 alarm fire you started last time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, I wouldn't say that your delivery was bad on it. I would love to see though a little bit more emphasis on like, but you remember the 3 alarm fire you started. Kind of like like you think about cooking, like here's a possible solution, but here's what's really holding you up.
Okay.
Other than that, though, I think you got it. Go for it whenever you're ready.
So it's 2 in the morning. You're starving. Nothing in the fridge. Nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3 alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
I could see if you were doing this as walk-in, where you would think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
I actually did that while I was practicing it. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
I'm Christopher Walken, and I'm in my walk-in kitchen.
All right. So, what did you guys think?
I dig that New York accent, man. That's cool stuff. That's funny.
Yeah, me too. I had a blast listening to that.
Nathan, hats off to you.
Yep,
Thank you.
you
Good job.
are hired.
I would agree with that. Definitely. You are hired. Way to go.
How does $15,000 sound for the 15 seconds of work, and then we'll get residuals for you from SAG?
Wow.
Sounds good to me. Speaking of SAG, recently I was told by an agency that they wanted to attempt to Taft-Hartley me. I don't know if you've heard about that, Michael.
What did that mean?
Really? They're going to Taft-Hartley you?
That's what they were saying.
Huh. That's awesome.
What do you
Taft-Hartley
mean by
is
that?
essentially It's basically like unofficially signing you into the to SAG-AFTRA. It's basically allowing you to work union jobs without being union quite yet.
Um, I still don't understand. So, I still don't understand. Uh, so it's like basically you're getting hired at another company or something?
No,
Something like
okay,
that?
so it'd be basically it basically is kind of like hang on a second. Sorry. It's basically like it'd be like being hired to into a like a really high up position without having to have all the credentials beforehand.
Oh, like I guess, like let's say you're uh, hmm, like just a regular worker and your boss is say like, hey, I like what you're doing to the company. You're a really great addition to our company. How would you like it if I bumped you up to CEO of this company? Kind of like that?
Something kind of like that, sure, yeah. It'd be more like getting, yeah, like into upper management from being like just a, customer service rep.
Oh,
So, like for a
interesting.
voice actor, you can audition. You can't audition for a script or a project if you're not in Screen Actors Guild. If it is a union script or a union project and you're not a member of the Screen Actors Guild, you don't have your SAG card, then you can't audition. Once you have your Screen Actors Guild SAG card, then you can audition for union gigs, which is where the money's at. But his agency is telling him, we're going to give you a pass, like a hall pass. Like if you don't have to have your Sam's Club card, you can come in and shop around. You can audition, and if
Oh,
you get the part, then you'll be invited to join SAG, and then you're good to go.
hmm. I guess I'd have to experience it for myself in order to completely understand.
Well, needless to say, this could be a great opportunity for Nathan Cundiff and for his voiceover business in general.
Yeah, congratulations, Nate.
Yeah, congrats, man.
I love how he unmuted, then muted, then what's going on, man?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Nathan, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Did you accidentally hit the mute on your Yeti?
Nate?
We might have lost him.
I
Oh,
don't see his mute button.
yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah, that's why we might have lost him.
Hmm.
Not muted. Well, that's odd. Nothing's coming through, Nathan. Oh, Google. Yeah, I know, it's Google. Here, why don't you do this? Before you exit out, Nathan, here is the link back into the mic check window. So go ahead and give that a copy. And then, I don't know, exit out, come back in. Best thing I could say. Oh, man. Well, this is an eventful mic check. So anyway, while Nathan's getting himself sorted out, Dennis, I'd actually like to ask you a little bit about your background, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, Michael. I was just left the screen for a second to copy and paste my script
Oh,
before
yeah.
onto a Word editor before I run out of space up there on the group chat. But well
Okay.
done. Yeah, man. I'm an old fart. I'm like 53 years old and always wanted to be a voice guy all my life. In 1978 in high school, figured that that's what I wanted to do. So I started DJing high school. Back then we called them sock hops, man. And I'd do the morning PA announcements, and I talked them into letting me do that. And so I was like the campus DJ. Went on, got in radio, established a radio career of well over 20 years, and did voiceover all along the way, but never really took the leap to get out to LA, and which is still a goal, a lifelong goal, and eventually I will. And it's just cool to have resources like you've put together, and certainly VAU, and where people can gather with the new frontier of technology via this stuff we're doing now. It's just kind of cool and fun, you know, a way to reach out and network and just get to know folks, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you done any? Yeah. So you said you did voiceover work all along the way while you were in your radio career.
Yeah,
what spots have you done? What kind of things? What can you say you have done in your history?
Oh God, yeah, mostly just radio stuff,
Okay.
on air radio commercials, an occasional maybe one or two regional television voiceover spots here or there. For a while, I was a part-time in the '80s, a part-time television station, what they used to call booth announcer for like one of the local TV stations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tonight on Channel 12, Eyewitness News at 5, that sort of thing. But nothing big by any stretch at all. I need what I need. My goal is to get the money together, get out to LA eventually, get Chuck Duran to produce a demo,
Yes.
get Nancy Woolman. Yeah, get Nancy Wilson to teach me how to do what I got a great set of pipes, but like you were saying earlier, you can have James Earl Jones pipes, and if you don't know what to do with them, or you don't apply yourself as a voice actor, which is what we are, we're actors. I'll never use the words radio DJ in public again. That's the death of your voice career. They don't want a DJ. Anybody can be a DJ, but not everybody can be an actor. So yeah, and in order to make this business, I'll go ahead and take 10,000 no's before I get to that one yes, knowing that I've got to constantly take classes, constantly improve and hone my craft and work on my craft. I'm prepared and I'm ready. And I'm fortunately at an age where I think, you know, the older I get, the top voice guys in the world all have gray hair, so it's not a problem. So, not too late. You know?
No. I honestly feel it's never too late to get into voiceover.
Right
It's never
on.
too late, never too early, because there's voice work for every age and for every I don't know, for every opportunity, I guess.
Right on.
In the short time that I've been in voiceover, I've only been really pursuing it for about a year and a half. I mean, like, I don't have too much that I've done, but I mean, my voice kind of falls in an odd range of about like 20 to 35 sounding. I'm 25. I'm like right in the middle of all of that. But I've done I've actually done a lot more corporate side stuff than I have anything else. I've done the training videos from Mazda and training videos from Mazda. I'm currently working on the training videos for Kia, and I've been the announcer for ABC's The Taste Season 2, which has been the coolest thing I've ever done in my career. But
Awesome.
yeah, from my experience, like, wherever you feel most comfortable is where you're going to end up. But you already have the right idea. You already Chuck Duran, he produced my demo, and it was my demo was a big hit with Nancy Wolfson when I was still training with her, and that she gives glowing reviews about Chuck Duran's demos. So Chuck Duran is the person to go for demos. If not, Nancy Wolfson is a very, very close second.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Right on, man. Yeah, do you watch the Chuck Duran's show that he has online? I forget the name of it. VO Buzz?
yeah, VO Buzz Weekly. Mhm.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, it's great stuff. He always shares something really cool at the beginning of the episode, and then you just get to hear about, like, these legendary names that
Yeah.
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 we get to hear about every once in a while. But anyway, so I said I would go second. Whew. Nathan, are you there? I'm going to need those ears of yours.
Nathan has his mic muted now. I can see the mic mute button on his screen.
Yeah, he says he's got it fixed, but he's stepping away. That's fine. So
Okay.
anyway, I am going to go ahead and go next. So if you wouldn't mind just muting your microphone. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They've got everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
Nice. I would say, yeah, that's what.
Read.
It sounds like that's what they would have been looking for. That just kind of laid back, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Okay, so nothing particularly stands out that I might need to change, or?
No, you did a great job
No,
with the
you
pause
did a
there. But I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna try it in a slightly different style. We'll see how that comes off, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind, please mute your mics. And here we go. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
Yeah, you sounded like my neighbor who's telling me about 7-Eleven, and so therefore was very believable. You sounded like a guy next door type, just a dude, man, hipping me to what's good at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I bought into it. It was believable for me.
yeah, you're hired.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Agreed.
I was trying to go for
Montes,
like.
be here on Wednesday, okay?
Oh, I wish. No, but like I was actually trying to go for like, I just sat down and I'm just about to tell you a story. So it's 2 in the morning, So that was kind of my approach to it.
Right on.
Anyway, anything that you thought, I don't know, nothing particularly caught your attention that maybe I should change, I should try differently? Anything though? I mean, if nothing, then whatever, we can move on. But
Try it again a little bit. Now, I don't want to say the word faster by any stretch of the imagination because it wasn't too slow. But in other words, try it with a different feel and see how it sounds. What if I do this type thing with the pace going? I don't want to say faster or even quicker, but different. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not a very good coach.
well, that's okay. I mean, that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Basically, part of the beauty of the mic check is that you act as both critic and performer. Like you're on both ends. So don't worry. As time goes on, if you keep coming to this, it'll start becoming more and more natural. I mean, Nathan can tell you. He's been coming to this. He's been a regular visitor to this for just the longest time.
I was stumbling all over myself the first time I came in here, so.
Yeah.
I feel better.
So yeah, just go ahead, like throw out whatever you can, the best terms you can. Don't worry about sounding like super professional about it. Just go for just go for it. Whatever you feel you want to say it. And I think I got what you mean. It's just try it in a new style, maybe a little quicker, a little bit more buttoned up.
Yeah, right on. Different different, maybe not quicker. Oh, I know what the word I was looking for. Tempo change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change the tempo. Got it. Okay then. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
That's good. You're making me miss 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
We don't have any here in the South.
I'm sorry.
We got them here in Jacksonville, Florida. We got plenty of them.
See, I'm originally from Orlando, so.
Oh yeah, right on. No, that was awesome, man. That was it. And I'd even take it even toward the end. I'd even turn it up another notch. Increase the tempo just a tiny little tad. You almost had it nailed to where I was going, wow, okay, you're hired, done. We don't need to. The auditions are over, folks. Thanks, bye, everybody. Have a nice day. Maybe next time you'll get a chance to read, but this guy just nailed it, so we won't need to hear from you. But then that's where I was until you got to like the last, after 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then you slowed a little bit. And between your and I think you were trying to deliver some character there, but that's all my ears heard. And again, to reiterate, of course, I'm not my ears aren't trained. It's amazing to me how you listen to a person like, who is it, Terry? Who was one of the recent ones on VO Buzz Weekly? Terry Berland, a casting agent there in L.A. Man, I learned a ton of stuff about copy and reading the script from her, and I've got so much work to do in that arena. In fact, I'm even embarrassed to start. I don't even really want to read this thing today right here, but yeah, so.
I think you've got this. In fact, why don't you go next?
Oh, gee, look what I got myself into here. You open your mouth and okay, let's try it. Let's see here. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You're thinking about cooking. Wait, no, excuse me. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started when you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
If I may, I definitely heard the radio background in that.
Yeah, doesn't that suck? It's a curse.
But it's okay. It's okay. Trust me. You keep practicing and you'll break free of it. But the thing is and this is something that I've talked about quite a bit on the mic check. It's a little something I like to call the VO voice. And what I mean by that is it's something that you go to when you're uncomfortable where you're at. It's something that's super familiar that you constantly default to.
Yep.
We used to have somebody on the mic check who every single time she went into a script, that's all I'm going to say about them, is that they're females. Every single time that she went into the script, it was just straight right into the VO voice. Just directly into the VO voice. And even when we tried, tweaking her out of it, when we tried saying, okay, there's this, you got to try this, pay attention to this or that, it would just be the exact same delivery. But the funny thing is as she kept practicing, as she kept going along lines, she completely broke free of it. So there's hope. Don't worry about it.
Right on. Yeah, I've got to unbecome a voice guy and become an actor, and that'll come with training.
Well, here's a quick tip for you. Whenever you hit a snag, whenever you mess up, feel free to take a pickup. Now, what I mean is just because this is something that we just use universally here, and I've noticed that it's helped a lot of people along the way. Basically, when you run into an area where that it kind of trips you up, or you don't say everything you want to say, just stop where you're at. Give yourself a little break. Say pick up, which is this audible cue to you and to everybody else that, okay, I realize I messed up. I'm just going to go back and try it again. Then go back to like the beginning of the sentence or somewhere just before you messed up and pick up or just continue like nothing ever happened.
Awesome.
So, and I mean, I'm sure you've run into this. You're not always going to say everything perfectly along the way. The beauty of audio editing is you can cut out the stuff that sucks.
Right on. Yeah, right on. Perfect.
So, right when you think about cooking, I noticed you kind of started tripping up, and that's when you went into the radio DJ for check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Try just listing it off. Try actually like picking up your, like pointing it off on your hands. You know what I mean when you count it off on your fingers when you're listing something off.
Yeah.
Yeah, from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go ahead and try doing that as you're going through the list. It might actually change up the way that you say it.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, those are basically, now that I've gone through my long explanation, let me shorten it. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you mess up, it's okay. Mm-hmm. No, everybody does. Everybody does multiple times. Take a pickup. Mm-hmm. And when you do, try to stay in the mode you were in before you messed up.
Right on.
So whenever you're ready, just go ahead, go from the top. Try it again.
Okay. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started when pick up. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
Your own personal walk-in kitchen.
Sorry, oh, what can I cook for you?
That's what I want to do, man. I'm digging that New York accent so much. I'm thinking of your own personal walk-in kitchen, yo.
Well, why don't you go ahead and give it a try? How much, can you actually do a New Yorker? Can you do a New York accent for me?
That sounds fun. Let's give it a shot and see what happens.
All right, go for it.
It's either going to be really good or really bad.
If it's really bad, who cares?
Okay, right on, brother. Here we go. So, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started when you tried use. Pick up. You think about cooking, pick up. You think about cooking, but then you remember. No, never mind. Let's scrap the New York accent. It needs work.
No problem. No problem. But yeah, just go ahead and pick it up from the top. Look at now I'm screwing up. I can't even speak right. Okay, pick it up from the top. Okay. Actually, something I'd like you to try is to slow down your pace.
Okay.
Just take it at because right now you're kind of at a little bit of a hurried pace. I wouldn't say it's quite a run, but it's definitely like a hurried walk. I would say definitely just go for like a leisurely pace, leisurely walk through the script this time.
10-4, and I'll use Dennis without just regular Dennis instead of New York Dennis.
There you go.
I'll leave my Mafia alter ego set on the side for a minute.
Yeah, your Mafia alter ego might need a little bit of work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Let's see. Here we go. All right. So, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but pick up. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's got to be one right near you. They have everything from burgers to tacos, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen.
Good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Here's one thing that the reason I asked you to slow down is it's actually something I learned when a friend of mine was trying to teach me piano. What they said is that it's more important when you're first learning to do something that you start off slow and you make sure that you get the muscle movements down right. You make sure that you get the pattern down correctly. It's the same thing also when I was practicing things on drums. I used to play drums way back in the day. But what you do is you make sure that you get all the motions correct first, and then you start working on picking up the pace and getting it all buttoned up and where you want it to be. Right. So, like with a script like this, I noticed that the thing that keeps tripping you up is you think about cooking.
Right.
If you were practicing this on your own, I would say just stop and do that part over and over again. Like just make sure you do it slow and make sure it comes out the way you want it to. That way, when you speed it up, that way when you actually get into like a regular speaking, normally, kind of quicker pace, it's not going to trip you up. It's because it's now second nature. It's muscle and emotional, I guess you could say, memory as well. Yeah. I mean that's what I think that's what acting is. It's flexing your emotional muscles. Because like anybody can deliver lines, but when you act is when you're actually trying to be somebody else and sound believable when you're somebody else.
Yeah, I literally picture a mirror in front of my face, and I see myself as that New Yorker. I got that thing going on. I've been in this city for years. You go outside, it's like getting smacked in the face with dog manure. I swear, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right on.
And then, of course, with the walking thing, I've watched how his face works and his inflections, and they're so the way they go up and down in different places. Yeah. And of course, it's almost like listening to music in a way, but it's like you just start to feel that person's feelings and emotions and thoughts. You almost get lost in there. You got to be careful with that, but you can almost get lost in there.
Funny thing is, some of the top voice actors that are out there actually have a decent background in music. There is quite a connection between the two, because like so many of the things that make a successful musician can also help make a successful voice actor. For instance, like daily or at least regular practice is a huge one. Understanding that being able to technically play the sounds is not quite as good as playing the song. Boom. If that makes any sense. One of the things that we talked about last time, or one of the last times on the mic check, is that, and I actually wrote a little blog about it. It's about how I named the blog "Kindergarten Nearly Sabotaged Your VO Career." And what I talked about in it is that we're oftentimes, the way that we're taught to read oftentimes totally screws up how we actually should read. Because we're initially taught sounds, obviously, like for letters, and then we're taught to put those letters together in words, and then we're taught to read those words. But it doesn't quite get beyond that. It's like it's like at least from where I went to school, everybody kind of stopped at, okay, sound out the words, and then we just talked about the structure of sentences and the structure of paragraphs and things like that. No, you see, the reason for sentences and paragraphs and whatnot is they encompass ideas. So when you're reading a script, what you want to do is you want to read the ideas in the script, not the words of the script.
Right on.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, I did read that article. That was awesome, Michael. You see, when I was in kindergarten, I couldn't stand the fact that when people would read like this, it bothered me. Ever since I was a little kid, I couldn't stand it. It's like, I want you to be the character. Yeah. Why can't you just be that character? Of course, I was kind of spoiled on like Sesame Street, Bugs Bunny. I would glut on cartoons on Saturday mornings, and it just fed what I am now. So
nice.
But yeah, it's so true because it's like it's 2 in the morning and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge. And it's like, no, 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 no. There's a person standing there telling you, hey, dude, it's 2 in the morning. You're hungry. You're starving. There's nothing in the fridge, nothing in the cupboards. Come on, you don't even have a dog biscuit hanging around. That's that feeling you're getting. It's like there is a person telling you something and you want what they're about to offer you. I'm not going to want what they're about to offer me if they're reading it in an informational kind of way. So it's 2 in the morning and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge. Nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. What's that?
Yeah, a lot of what I hear is also picture who you're talking to. I got that from Terry Berlin. I've heard Nancy Wolfson say this too. I've heard it from more than one voice coach. Picture who is it you're talking to. Think of this.
Yeah.
Who are you selling to?
Yeah, that person. Of course, you've worked in radio. I work in television. Okay. So I understand that audience reach thing. And it's like, of course, I listen to every voice actor that comes my way through, where I work. And, you hear a lot of the announcery stuff, but at the same time, it's like when you're trying to reach a particular audience and you want to give them a warm and friendly and, hey, I'm the guy next door feel, you got to be in there. You got to be that person. You got to be the guy next door,
Yeah, man.
So I posted the blog into the chat window. So if you want to check that out, that's basically the entire idea I was talking about, but broken down a little bit more. Yeah, basically, when you're reading the script, you really want to ask like who's actually speaking. I always imagined like when I first read the script, I imagined, okay, so it's some guy talking to his friend who's like, who's had a late night the night before, and is trying to tell him, okay, 7-Eleven has saved my life, and here's how it can save yours.
Right.
Like that's kind of like the character that I decided to take with this one.
Cool.
So I immediately imagined like some guy literally just sitting down and just starting the story to his friend who's like sitting across the table from him. Maybe they're at like a diner or something. I don't know. And his friend just looks completely wiped, totally drained, had like an all-nighter and just, skipped out on all the energy drinks and coffee.
Awesome.
So it's 2 a.m. and you're starving, right? But
yeah.
Again, all that's just going to come through practice. So I'm going to offer you this opportunity. If you'd like to go one more time, you can. If not, we're free to pass the buck.
Yeah, let me pass the buck now. I've taken enough time, and then I'll get more turns, in future chats. But I wanted to say thanks for posting that article there. I was going to ask you to do that, so that's cool. But yeah, right on, man. I'm going to actually, when we get off today, I'm going to go practice this thing a couple times, like you said, on my own. And then everything you were telling me is going to come. I'll be able to think about it, when I'm just me. And that'll be fun to play around with it then.
Sweet. Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Now. So is it Takia or Katya? Hello?
Hello. Sorry. Had my mic on mute. Actually, let me sit up. Could you guys still hear me? Still?
Yes, we can.
Oh, cool. I'm sitting up. Actually, I don't think this was a good idea because I can't see now.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, let me get my glasses. I'm back.
Okay, welcome back.
Thanks. Well, I actually have 2 accounts. 'Cause I've been having some trouble with my other account, so I made another one. So, yeah.
Okay.
But it's Takia.
Takia. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah, got it.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, whenever you are ready,
Okay.
go for it.
All right. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboard. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one right near ya. They have everything from burgers to tacos. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your personal walk-in kitchen.
Were you reading this a little bit beforehand, like when we were after I first posted it?
Yes, I was.
Okay, cool. You're reading it out loud, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Because yeah, that's always a big thing. In past mic checks, I've noticed how there have been many people who've told me that they've read it and it's all been in their head. Well, yeah, reading it in your head is one thing. Reading it aloud is something else.
Yeah,
And I could tell you were reading it aloud because it was actually, it was a really smooth delivery. I remember with the Clinique script for your voiceover evaluation,
yep.
you were having a little bit of issues with that word, but
Yep.
this time you didn't have too much slowdown, so that was pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, no problem. One of the main things that I would say to pretty much every voice actor that's ever come on the mic check ever is any script that you go into, make sure that you get plenty of practice for yourself out loud, and I advocate, even though I don't really say it that much, I always advocate to take the scripts from the mic check and practice it on your own afterwards.
Oh.
I know I don't think I've actually, now that I think back on it, I only mentioned it in like side conversations and not in the main mic check window. So let me officially say this now. Why don't you go ahead after the mic check? This is an official announcement from Michael Montes concerning the VAU mic check. After the mic check, go ahead and just copy the script off because it's free, royalty free. So I mean, you can use the script for your own practice needs if necessary.
Okay.
And also, the Voice Artists United has an entire script library which you can just dig into and get lots of practice with. But the most important thing is to practice enough to just feel totally calm, totally comfortable, and totally in control of the script. That can obviously that amount of practice varies from person to person, and it always shortens the amount of time you need to practice to get to that point. Shortens depending on why can't I think? Depending on your level of experience. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. So the more you practice, the more experience you gain, and the less you'll have to practice in the future. It's kind of like I don't even not a catch-22. What am I trying to say here? It's like a self-building cycle. Like, so you take these scripts, you practice on the mic check. Then after the mic check is over, you go ahead and practice on your own. And in the future, when you have to practice, since you've already gotten the experience from that practice, your practicing time, you're going to notice, is going to start shortening, shorter and shorter and shorter, before you can start really picking out things like the emotional cues, changes that changes in the way you should deliver things. Just so after the mic check, make sure to keep the script handy for yourself and practice it a bit more.
Sure.
just like oh, sorry, I don't have the window open right now. But yeah, just like Dennis, go ahead and keep practicing on your own.
Okay. There was this one such a voice conference I went to. And she was telling her voiceover student, we actually got to hear how she did her voiceover training with one of her students, and she said reading out loud is the most important thing when you have a script that you can do. Don't read it in your head, because if you read it in your head, you might mess up over the words or stumble over them. So it's very, very crucial, in fact, very, very important to read it out loud before you go into a session or into an audition or what have you. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's actually a really good idea. It's always important to practice aloud as much as possible, because yeah, it's muscle memory. Just like I was saying before, like the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yes.
So anyway, why don't you go ahead and give it another try?
Okay. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboard. You don't even have doggy biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one right near ya. They have everything from burgers to tacos. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen. I messed up on that second one. On that second time. I think I did a lot better the first time.
You might have been you might have psyched yourself up a bit too much. If you do mess up, remember what I said to Dennis about taking a pickup.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to stop. Just say pickup. Go back to the sentence before, the starting of the sentence before you messed up, and just take it like nothing happened. Just keep going.
Okay.
Try it one more time. Go for it.
All right. So it's 2 in the morning, and you're starving. Nothing in the fridge, and nothing in the cupboard. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time you tried using the stove. Well, check out 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one right near ya. They have pickup. They have everything from burgers to tacos. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7-Eleven. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen. Nah, the first one was way better.
Are you getting more and more nervous?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I shouldn't be, because, well, we're all voiceover people and friends here, so yeah.
That doesn't mean you're not going to feel nervous. I mean, come on. I actually still feel nervous every time I go up to perform. But I guess I can't. I guess I can't say enough about the importance of practice, because obviously the more you do, just the more you do it, the easier it is to handle. So I would say that, as much as possible, just read things aloud to yourself, to other people. If you have a library nearby, you might want to consider volunteering. Who knows? That might actually help out. I don't know. I just thought of that now, and I'm figuring, I probably should do that too. Because I literally live like less than 5 minutes away from my city's library. So.
Wow. I live 4 blocks away from my closest library, so.
Well, I mean, it's how to say it. I guess the way that it works with VoiceOver is when you first get into it, like when you're first exposed to it, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You're still kind of plodding along. You don't really pay attention to it until unless there's a script in front of you. Then as time goes on, and I'm just talking about my experience here. So this might not be indicative for everybody. I don't know if this is something totally different for you, Nathan or Dennis. Please go ahead and peek up. But as time goes on, then you start listening to things like commercials, cartoons. You start listening to the TV. You start listening to movies. You start listening to every opportunity that you hear somebody who's speaking as a voice actor, and you start thinking, okay, so they did this, they did that. This is they were hired because of this or that, or you start picking out little things. You start noticing little things about their performances. And as the more you kind of involve yourself into this crazy, ridiculous world that is voiceover, the more you start hearing, the subtle performances that all of these different voice actors who are currently working have. And for me, listening to all of these has completely changed the way that I've done my voice acting. Because at the beginning, I was totally trying to play to the announcer feel. I mean, I remember back to actually, it's really embarrassing remembering back to like some of my first classes when going into voiceover for just the very first time. I was terrible. But the more you listen and the more you read, the more you practice, the more you expose yourself and pay attention to voiceover, the more little things about your own performance will come out.
It's absolutely true. It is. Well, see, I listen alongside of stuff while I'm setting programs up at the television station, and I will play like, okay, even a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. It has a certain cadence and pitch to it. Just like we were talking about earlier, like music. And I'll listen along, and I will, which being that I work in a television station, I can stop and play it back a couple of times. So, but I will listen along, and then I will speak alongside of that person who's speaking.
That's what I do too.
I've heard this said before: is record commercials.
Okay.
And then play them back and just listen to that person's cadence and rhythm and how they're sounding, what their vocal tones are sounding like. You can learn a lot from that, and just, speak alongside of that person as they're speaking and see if you can keep the same cadence and rhythm as they're speaking. You may not even use the same vocal tone. I mean, I've done it a couple times with different character voices that I've done, and it just... You start picking up on, okay, the pause was here, and because of this pause, this makes this more emphasized, or this takes a little emphasis out of, the thing before it, that sort of thing. And you start picking up on that. It's a really good idea to do that, though.
And I guess I should start doing that a lot more. I do it with this one particular video. On my one of my voice actors, professional voice actors I look up to is of course Miss Lonnie Manella. She's a great voiceover actor in my eyes. She's done 500 video games, and she got a big list. If you look on her bio at, I think, the bio website, I can't remember what it's called right now, but she has a big, huge list of what she's done, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. And one day I would want to, one day I hope to beat her record, maybe by one or two cartoons or games or whatnot. But this one particular video that I listened to is it's called the San Diego VoiceOver filmmaker, and she lives in San Diego, and they were at this panel. So every time she talks, I would just try to keep up with her tempo and try to imitate her a little bit. I'm not quite there yet, but when I play it and I'm imitating with her, I can get it very good. But when I'm not, it's kind of not really. It's there, but it's not there. So
Okay.
yeah.
So when you're going through that and you actually feel really confident in the way that you're speaking, what I want you to do, what I want you to try to do, is pay attention to your mindset. Pay attention to what's going through your head, what's led up to that point. Pay attention to what catches you so much about her performance and about you being able to mimic that performance. So as you pay attention to that, as you really try to pay close attention to what this person is doing, how they're doing it, and you imitating that, you being in their mind and being in their shoes and saying the same things, the more you pay attention to that, the more you'll be able to bring that out without her being around. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So just pay attention to your mindset as you're practicing along with that.
Okay.
But well, I don't know. I think that's really all I can say for now.
Hey, Takia, is that how you pronounce your name?
It's Takia.
Takia, please forgive me, sweetie. Yeah, listen. So it sounds, when I'm listening to your voice tone is very pleasant to the ear to listen to. The quality of your voice. You have an awesome instrument. And when we take the sounds that our instrument makes from our stomach and through our throat and our mouth, it has a tendency sometimes to get misplaced. It sounds like your sounds coming from your mouth are placed in, they're not properly placed. In other words, let me ask you a question. Are you wearing braces?
No, I'm not. I've had braces in the past, but I don't wear them anymore.
One thing you can work on, and a good voice coach, or the next time you talk to one, ask them to help you with your placement of your diction and your syllables and your vowels. It's the tongue. A lot of times our tongue gets caught on the back of our teeth, for example. If I talk like this right here, okay, and when that happens, mostly is when an actor is nervous and they're totally off character because they're nervous, and then during an audition, for example, and so then they're not paying attention to their placement, where their syllables are being placed in their mouth, and therefore the character is all wrong and the script is not believable. That's something that I believe that if you were to work on and approach, and you need a good, honest voice coach to help you with your placement, then you will be make great strides, I believe, and as your voiceover career, because it sounds to me like you have a gift.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, wait, no. Daniel said that maybe it might help if I took, some, speech classes, because he said, I have a bit of a lisp, and he's not the only one who told me this. Another professional voiceover artist did when I spoke with him. And I said, okay, I'll try to give that a shot, but, I don't, financially, I don't have any money for, speech classes at this point, so.
That's something you can. That's for down the line when you're financially able to do that. But for now, you can try doing things like on Google, for example, which Google's your best friend. Golly, you can get access to world-class authority content without paying, $25,000 for a 30-minute session. so yeah, and I bet you can even find phonetically different ways to Google something like that. Think of a sentence that you want to learn about. Let's say proper placement of vowels in VoiceOver. That sort of thing, and you'll find a couple of links in which will lead to more different types of links, and there you go. Now you got your own VoiceOver University on your laptop, man.
Oh, cool. I never really thought about that. I'll keep that in mind.
Cool.
I'm going to post the videos that I watch a lot, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
Well, okay.
There it is.
Okay. So I think that's about it for the mic check itself, for the public practice. I'm going to end the broadcast here in just a minute, but that does not mean that the hangout is over. So if you want to keep hanging out, you got some of the stuff you want to discuss, then you're more than welcome to stick around. If not, you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for being here this week, and we'll see you all next week.